All right. That being said, we're going to welcome back Nick Niehaus. Nick is going to share with us whatever the heck. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I don't even remember what he's going to share with us. I don't care what he's going to share with us because I know that everything that comes out of that guy's mouth is freaking gold. And so I'm going to turn the time over to Nick. And you guys heard him yesterday, so I don't need to really introduce him. What I need you to do is just listen to him and take notes. Before you do, however, I want you to write down one thing. You can just write it down on your paper. One thing you got out of what Sarah shared with you that you're going to make sure you implement in your business. Do that right now. Just take a second to write down one thing you're going to implement in your business. And while you're writing that down, Nick Niehaus, what are we going to learn from you today? I know we're going to learn a ton from you. Just tell us what it is.
Well, we're going to be doing a walkthrough of how to use a video recipe. So it's actually a process that we use inside a business video school. I'll be walking everybody through how to do it, and then also giving you some tips and tricks on how you can use the same approach in your own business, even if you're not a member with us. So should be a lot of fun.
Well,
cool.
I'm going to mute myself out. You take over, and I will see y'all back in about 45 to 50 minutes.
Sounds good. Cool.
Right.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for having me back again. These are always a lot of fun. We're doing something a little bit different today, right? So a lot of times we have a very slide-heavy presentation. This is actually going to be a little bit more of a demo. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts today. So I just want to kind of warn you of that. I'm going to be sharing my screen on the computer for a bit. I'm going to share my screen on the phone for a little bit. So there's going to be a few moving parts here. What I want to do first is just sort of explain what I'm going to be demonstrating. So as I say that, let me go ahead and pull up the share on my computer because I do want to show you what I'm talking about as I talk about it. Let me see here. Where did this go? There we go. Okay. So let's share the screen here. Again, they're going to have a little bit of the start and stops just because I'm moving on a couple different parts here. So, all right, well, here's what a video recipe is. And I want to explain what this is inside of our school so that, obviously there's a few different ways you can be a member. If you're a member with Ren, you actually have a free membership in Business Video School. So if you're already a member with Ren or if you're planning on signing up sometime in the next couple weeks, that is going to be your direct access to our school, and you do have access to the video recipes through that. Second option is if you're not a customer with Ren, but you would like to be a member with Business Video School, you can go to our website and get yourself signed up. But here's the thing, this what I'm showing you today, in a lot of ways, is actually a process that you can use yourself, right? So if you're not intending to be a member with Business Video School anytime in the near future, but you want to just sort of rip off this process and use it yourself, that is fine with me, right? We want to make this as easy as possible for you to use video on a consistent, regular basis. So here's the idea behind video recipes, all right? When we started the school, we knew that we were going to be putting together a lot of courses, a lot of pretty in-depth training type content. People are going to have to sit there and watch for hours at a time because when it comes to video, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different things you have to learn and sort of master over time to be as productive as possible when it comes to using video, right? What we also knew, though, is that video is complex and it's intimidating, and a lot of people procrastinate significantly when it comes to video. I know people had told me 3 years ago they were going to start making videos in the next few weeks, and they still have not made one, right? So I'm sure a lot of us can kind of identify with that feeling. So what we started to ask ourselves is, in addition to trainings, what else can we do for our students? How can we make it as easy as humanly possible to make video on a regular basis, right? That's the question that we always ask ourselves, is everything we do, we say, does this make it more likely, and does it make it easier for our students to make video? So video recipes is one of the main things that sort of came from that approach to things, right? So here's what a video recipe is. A video recipe is everything you need, all of the ingredients all in one place to make a video, and we make a new one every single week. Now the idea here is that we want to make video recipes that represent the kinds of videos that a real estate agent should be making on a regular basis. Now, obviously, you've probably gotten a lot of ideas for videos and for different kinds of content from our presentations that you've been watching here over the past few days. But here's the thing. When you make video for your business, should you talk about real estate? Yes, of course, sometimes, right? Should you talk about other things as well so you can keep people interested even if they're not currently in the market for a home? Yes, you should also do that. In fact, I'm not sure if Jeff mentioned this in his presentation. I didn't catch quite the whole thing yesterday, but Jeff often talks about the 80-20 rule. 80% of your content should not be promotional. It shouldn't even necessarily have anything to do with real estate, because 80% of your content should be a way for people to get to know you and interact with you. And then 20% of your content should be more promotional and should definitely be related to business, right? So there's some wiggle room in there. You can talk about things that are related to real estate that aren't necessarily promotional, right? And that could fall into your 80%. But what we wanted to do with our video recipe process is we wanted to give our students a bunch of variety, right? A bunch of different kinds of videos that they could put out that as often as possible still have some tie back into real estate, right? Because you really need from the community that you're marketing to is you need awareness, you need people to know who you are and what you do, and you need people to understand how to purchase from you when the time comes, right? So if they don't know you're a real estate agent, but they see you all the time, you have some awareness, but you're not necessarily helping them buy from you. Other people go too far the other direction. All they ever do is talk about how you can buy from them, and they lose the awareness, right? People don't tune in to a sales message every single day. They have to be ready for that message, right? So I wanted to make sure I make that clear before I go into how these work, because you'll see that there's a variety of different topics. So let me scroll through here for a second, right? Like I said, we make a new one every week. We've got about 52, 53 of these that we've already created, and you're gonna see some different categories, right? So the first one here is real estate FAQ videos. So there's a whole bunch of commonly asked questions, pros and cons of selling FSBO, right? The pros and cons of joining an HOA. How much does it cost to sell your house? 3 different types of pre-approvals. Which one do you need? So on and so forth. We got a whole bunch of those. We have explanation videos for the real estate process. Now, obviously, this isn't comprehensive. We're always adding more to it, but there's quite a few in here already. We have promotional videos, right? So stuff that really is just about promoting your business. We have lead follow-up videos. We have real estate market update videos, and then seasonal content as well. And the seasonal stuff typically doesn't have anything to do with real estate, right? So the idea here is that on a regular basis, we're trying to provide something that's going to help you stay top of mind with your audience, right? So let me show you another thing you can do here. So within this library, this is the library of video recipes. If you want, you can come up here and click on search. And I'm actually going to show you something. So you can search for pet, right? Because this is the video recipe that I want to show you. This one is not necessarily, so this one is a good example of what I was talking about, where it brings together a topic that most people are going to find interesting, which is our pets, right? Most people in the United States have a pet at this point. We all love our pets. In fact, a lot of people treat them like a member of the family. And so it's a great topic to talk about. And so what we're going to do is we come in here, we find this recipe. And there's a few things that you're gonna see when you open this up, right? And in a minute here, I'll also explain how you can, if you're not a member of the school, take this same process and use it yourself, right? So what we do is we provide as much of the collateral and the process as possible, right? So the first thing you would do is you find a video recipe, and like I said, every week we make a new one. So every Tuesday we email all of our students with a link to a new recipe, so you've got a new one to consider on a regular basis. And you come in here into the library, and the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna watch this video here. Now, what is this video? This video is the actual video itself, right? So what we do is, it's one thing to give you a script. Obviously, a script is gonna be part of a video recipe, but it's another thing to go a step further and say, okay, I shot this video myself with just a phone, and here's what it looks like, right? So that you can imitate what it looks like. You can try to match the cadence and the delivery and all that kind of stuff. It's much easier to make a video when you have an example of one right there in front of you that you can imitate, right? So let's do that first. I'm gonna go ahead, let me go ahead and restart my screen share to make sure I'm playing the sound and optimizing for video. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and play this video recipe for you so you can see an example of what this experience looks like, all right? So let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
As many as 68% of American households have at least one pet. Let me just go ahead and set him down. That's significantly more than those who have children under 18, and with the younger generation putting off having children, household pets have filled that role for many Americans. And because your furry friends are part of your family, you need to consider their needs when you're thinking about moving. Here are 4 important things to consider when thinking about your pets and moving. Number 1, what are the local pet laws? So this is an often forgotten about aspect when it comes to thinking about a place to live, but it's important to remember that animal laws are handled through local municipalities realities. Things like leash laws, noise ordinances, and even breed restrictions can come into play and catch new residents off guard. Also important to remember, if you're thinking about joining an HOA, that HOA may have additional rules that you'll need to abide by. Number 2, what is the outdoor space like? Many pets, dogs specifically, obviously benefit from lots of outdoor time, so what type of outdoor space are you providing them? Consider the yard size, whether it has a fence, and even the type of landscaping before purchasing. Also, think about what type of major roads are close to the property. If your pet gets loose, will it be in immediate danger due to heavy and or fast-moving traffic that's close by? Number 3, does your house have pet-friendly floors? The biggest impact your pet will have on the house is the flooring, so it's important to think about how those floors will age over time. Big dogs can easily scratch certain types of hardwood, and carpet is easily soiled and not always easily cleaned. And finally, number 4 is the floor plan of the house accommodating to both you and your pet together. You'll quickly grow tired of your house if you're always tripping over your big dog. If you're downsizing, you need to consider how much space your pet is used to. Do you have room for a big dog bed or a tall cat tree? Are there stairs that your pet will need to navigate? Many pets struggle with steps as they age, so are you prepared to install a carpet runner up the stairs or relegate your pet to a single floor? Think about how your house will accommodate your pet throughout its entire life. Your pet will have to deal with the stress of moving to a new space just like you, so consider how this new home will affect them throughout their entire life. So, do you have a pet at home? If so, what are some other considerations that you take into account when moving? Let me know in the comments.
All right, so get the idea, right? So the first thing you would do is come in and watch the video, decide if you like it or not, right? Now here's the thing. Not everybody's gonna like every video, right? We don't expect that to be the case. Part of why we make one every single week, so that, you know, every other week at least you're gonna find something that you wanna make. But there are a lot of stuff in here that is meant to be pretty broadly appealing, right? Now, video recipes are not meant to be the only videos that our students ever make. In fact, most of our training focuses on our students developing, you know, their ideal customer and understanding what that person wants to see and then making content for them. But this gives you a very, very solid foundation, right? So that's the first two things that we give our students. So we give them a script and then we give them this video. Now the first thing they would do is watch the video to decide if they want to make it. But then let's say they decide, you know what, I like this concept, I want to make this video. Here's the thing, you don't have to use the script word for word, right? So personally, in my preference, I would probably make that video a little bit shorter. I would go in and cut a few sentences out, streamline it a little bit, but that's just my personal style. Some people like to have longer content, right? And you could add more to it. You could add additional points if you think of them, etc. But what you would do next is once you've watched the video and you decided, you know what, that one sounds good, I want to make it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the process that we would recommend that you use to now take this script, get it onto your phone, and record the video using a teleprompter app, which makes it as easy as possible, right? So we're trying to streamline this process so that we can get these videos done on a regular basis. Now, where is that script, right? So what we do is we come over here under the section where it says downloads, and you'll see at the bottom is always where it says video recipe, and usually there's a number associated and then the name of the video recipe, right? Go ahead and click on that PDF. It's gonna download to our computer, and then we just go ahead and open it up, right? Now we have a separate PDF because this PDF is full of all of the instructions on the exact process that you should use to make this video, right? So we've got some suggestions on equipment that you may want. You don't need, all you really need is a teleprompter app and a phone, but we have a couple suggestions you might want to look into. And then as you go down further, we have actual instructions included here on all of the things that I'm going to be showing you next, right? So how to take the script, get it copied over into BigView, how to use BigView to record the video. We include some basic instructions on how to frame yourself, and then also how to get access to the video file once it's done, right? So you're going to be able to watch our instructional videos on how to do this, but if you ever get to a point where you go, you know what, I wasn't sure what that last step was, it's always included here in the instructions, which again makes it as easy as possible to get these done. And everything we're trying to do is trying to make it as easy as possible to make videos, right? So we come a little bit further down. There's two more things in this document I want you to see. The first is the script. So this is the script right here. All I have to do is just simply highlight it, drag it down, and then I can copy it anywhere I want, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick before we move on. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight and copy the script. And then the last thing I want to show you, because we will come back to this later, is at the bottom here, we take this an additional step further and we even write the social media post for you, right? Now, again, what we did is we researched and said, where do people get stuck? What are the parts of this process where they get there, but they don't quite get it done? And one of those things is what to write when I share the video. In fact, we've seen too many real estate agents over the years share a video and say nothing, which is not a good idea. You should tell people what your video is about, so it gives them a more of a reason to actually watch it. Or they say something above the post that is not well written in such a sense that it doesn't get people excited to watch the video, right? So you have to write your copy, you have to write your post on social media the same way you would make the video in the first place, right? You got to have a hook. You got to think about what's going to grab their attention and pull them in and get them to watch it. So we write our version of it. You don't have to use it, but if you want to, you can also copy and paste this part into your post when you're posting the video, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is you're going to end up doing with it, right? Okay, so that's everything that's included in the document. So far, in terms of the process, what have you done? You've gone to the website, you've watched the video, you decided you want to make your own version, and you've clicked the download button, right? So that's it, just to get you caught up into where we are so far. Now, the rest of what we're going to do, here I want to give you just a second, a little bit of suggestion on if you decided to do this yourself, right? So if you want to go through this process, you want to copy what we're doing, from here forward, all of the rest of the steps, you could do yourself with your own script, right? Now, obviously, you would need to have your own script because you wouldn't have access to ours, but if you want to do this on your own, that's all you got to do, right? You just got to write your script out. You got to think about what you want to say. Obviously, remember the hook, body, call to action concept we talked about yesterday, and write it out ahead of time, right? So you have your script written out word for word. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come over to a different website. So this website is called BigView, BIGVU. I do believe I mentioned it yesterday. And BigView is it's a teleprompter app, right? But one of the cool things about BigView is that they're actually a pretty successful startup at this point. I believe they have 4 million total users. And so they have a lot of cool bells and whistles, and they have a pretty robust platform, right? So we really do like BigView. It does seem to just sort of continue to get better with age, which is a good thing to see. And it has aspects both on the computer and on the phone, right? So here's what you would do, and again, obviously this is just sort of a demo. We're not doing a full training right now, but what you do is you go into BigView, which you're going to download on your phone. It is a phone-based app. You're going to get yourself set up with an account. I do have a pro account, right? So some of the stuff that I'm going to be able to do here is only available through the pro account. However, you can still do some of this with the free version. So I don't believe you can put the script through the computer and then transfer it to your phone, which is what I'm about to show you, but you can copy the script into an email it to yourself, copy it off of the email from your phone, and put it into the app, right? So there are still ways to do this even without the paid version. This is more straightforward, so I wanted to show you the more straightforward version, right? Now all I do is I come over to BigView, I come to my project section here, and I click on Create, right? Now when you click on Create, you get 3 options: Script, Sequence, and Import, and I just want to click on Script, all right? Now all I do is right here where it says Write Script, I just simply paste the script in, right? So this is my script, I just copied out of that other document, all right? And you can scroll up and see, starts from the beginning. Before I do anything else, I want to go through and edit anything in here I want to change, right? So for instance, if you wanted to put a call to action and say, are you looking for a home that's perfect for your pet? Why don't you call me at this phone number? This is where you would add that, right? You would add it now on the computer. It's much easier to type on the computer, and you're going to get that squared away, right? Another thing I recommend is putting a headline in here. So I'm just going to call this Moving with Pets for the purpose of this demo. And that's it, right? So I've got my script in here. I've made any changes to it that I might want to make. I've updated the title of this particular script. And what I do next is I just click on Send to App. All right? So that's it so far, right? So again, all I've done is I've found the video I want to make, I've copied the script, and I've put it into BigView and had it send to the app, all right? Now what I'm going to do next is I need to switch over to my phone, because now we're going to do the demo of how to actually record this on your phone. So let me take a second to do some screen share stops and starts and rearrange a little bit on my desk here. And while I'm doing that, if you do have any questions about what we've gone over so far, feel free to put them in the chat. I will check the chat before I start the next demo here. Let's get transitioned. All right, so there we go. So everybody can see, hopefully, the screen of my phone here, right? So here I am inside of the Big View app. All right, so this is the Big View app. This is the project section. Everything is referred to as a project, right? So either a project is just a script, like the one we just created, or it also has multiple takes. You can have as many takes as you want on these scripts, and those will all be found here inside of what's called a project, all right? So let's go ahead and start walking through what the rest of this process should look like. So you can see there at the top, right? At the very top, you see moving with pets. That's my script, right? That's the one I just uploaded on the computer, made any edits to it before I uploaded it, right? So now I don't have to be typing on my phone to make any changes. And you just simply click on it. It's gonna open up the script. All right, you're gonna have the little menu here to delete it if you need to, but that's about it. You're just gonna see the script and you're gonna see a record button, right? The little camera looking icon at the bottom. So what we do next, I forgot I was supposed to check the chat before I started talking about this. Let me just do that real quick. Sometimes you just the glasses on your face, the video can tell it there, the slight angle. Yeah, so we had a question about removing glare with glasses. There was also already, Vanessa looks like chimed in with some good suggestions there. Glasses, as Vanessa pointed out, it's all about the angle, right? So it's all about, just think of it this way. If the camera was shooting a laser and that laser was gonna hit your lenses and bounce off, do they bounce in the direction of the lights, right? So if that's the angle that you're shooting at, that's gonna mean that the lights are gonna hit they're gonna hit your lenses and they're gonna reflect into the camera. So you need to move the lights, right? Or you need to adjust the angle. So for instance, a lot of times people with glasses, like right now I've got this light right here. If I had glasses on, you'd probably be able to see it. So in that case, I need to maybe move it up higher, get it up above the camera, or shift it over to the side, or maybe even try to sit slightly at an angle so that my glasses are pointing a little bit that direction. There's oftentimes not a perfect solution, but those are a few things that you can do. So Laura, you asked me to repeat something 3 minutes ago. I'm sorry if you could tell me what I was talking about. It said I cut out, but I'm not sure what I was going over there. The name of the app, the video app, is Big View. I'm going to go ahead and just type it into the chat so everybody has a recommendation there. And then a recommendation on a gimbal, which we're really not talking about right now, but DJI OM4, you have it available there, right? So while importing, are you off camera? Caroline, you'll have to tell me what you mean by what are you off camera. All right, so let's see. While importing the script, so I'm not entirely sure what I said while importing the script. If you have a specific question about it, just let me know. I'll try to come back and answer it here in just a few minutes. But now we have our script. It's loaded into the Big View app. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna record, right? So this is really, up until this part, I know it's taken us a few minutes to get here because I'm explaining it, but we've really done about maybe a minute of work so far, right? So what we're gonna do is on the phone screen, we're gonna hit the camera looking icon. And what that does is that opens up the recording settings, right? So Big View is both a teleprompter and it's also a recording app, right? So it's gonna do both of those things at the same time for us. Now, before I go into actually recording anything, and I don't know if I'm gonna record the entire video because I don't know if you need to see that whole thing, but at least a couple seconds of it. I wanna go over just real quick what the stuff at the bottom means, right? So you can see at the right-hand side, I have an audio meter showing me my volume as I'm talking into the camera. I'm talking pretty loudly because I'm presenting on Zoom right now, so you can see that the volume's getting fairly close to the top, but you don't wanna see it ever hit the top. If it is hitting the top, you might wanna move a little bit further from the phone. Then you also have a few other things you can control here at the bottom. You can click on this button that says area. I'm going to show you what happens if I move that. So that moves around where the text is showing up on the screen. And depending on where your camera is, you want to make sure you find your camera, right? So you kind of put your finger over it, and then you want to adjust the script to show up basically right directly below that camera, right? So if you have your camera off to one side of the phone, you may want to make sure you're moving the script over there because you want it somewhat centered right below where the camera is, because that means you're going to be looking into, or it's going to look closer to you looking into the camera lens, right? That's really important. You want it to feel like you're making eye contact with the viewer. Now, the next one you have control over is font. That's going to be your font size, right? So if you have a little bit trouble seeing the font, you can adjust that there. Now I'm going to be sitting fairly close to the phone, so I don't need it too big. Next is going to be speed, all right? Now this one is a personal preference, and what you're going to find as you adjust it there, it's going to start scrolling, right? So I can read it and I can sort of practice as I go. I'm going to set it at let's try 180. I think I tried 160 earlier and it was just a little bit slow. Next is start point, right? So this is one where you can actually adjust where the script is starting. So if you want to scroll up or down, you can make changes there. And then finally, you have exposure. So let's just go ahead and show you what that does, right? So if I drag exposure up, it's going to make me a lot brighter. And if I drag it back down, it's going to reduce the exposure and make me darker, all right? Now, those are all the different settings you have available there. And that is, I believe, everything that I need to show you, right? So the last thing, obviously, is you do have settings in the top right-hand corner. I'm not going to go over all this for today's demo, but you can come in here and make additional adjustments to some of the settings as you need. Now, obviously, behind me, I have a green screen right now, right? So I'm actually going to adjust the camera angle slightly so that it's all green. You do not need a green screen, all right? But I am going to go ahead and use the green screen since it's behind me, since I've got the Club Wealth and Isaiah and Colton and Co. logos behind me here for Zoom, right? So I'm going to just go ahead and record in green, but don't feel like you have to. Obviously, when we watched Michael do his demo of this earlier, he did not have green screen behind him, right? So it's not required, but I am going to actually show you a cool app on your phone you can get that makes it really simple to switch out the green screen, right? Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to want to get situated, right? I'm going to want to make sure I'm in the right spot. I'm going to want to make sure I'm framed correctly. So I might want to tilt the phone slightly down. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes, so it's not going to be perfect. And here's what we're going to do next, right? So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hit the record button. It's going to give me a countdown, and then I'm going to just read the script, right? Now, that being said, this is where practice comes into play. I've done this a bunch of times, okay? So if you were to do this yourself and you've never done it before and you feel like you come across as very scripted, that is normal, okay? It would be kind of weird if the very first time you did this, you were totally natural sounding if you'd never done it before. So keep that in mind, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do my little demo. And just we're mostly demonstrating kind of the tech aspect of this right now. I'm not going to record the entire video, but let's just see how this goes, all right? So you reach down and hit the record button. You're going to get your countdown. As many as 68% of American households have at least one pet. That's significantly more than those who have children under 18. And with the younger generation putting off having children, household pets have filled that role for many Americans. And because your furry friends are a part of your family, you need to consider their needs when you're thinking about moving. All right, so as I stop that, I'm going to go over just a couple things here. First of all, that was my first take, right? Now, I didn't do the whole script. Part of why I stopped is, I don't know if you could tell, but as I was reading, the words tended to get a little bit lower on the screen as I was saying them. So what that means is that my speed was a little slow, right? So I'm going to come back. I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of that. That was my first take. Now I want to go ahead and do another one. I'm going to go ahead and click on the record button again. Except this time I'm going to go to speed and I'm going to increase it. And I'm actually going to go all the way up to 200 words a minute. Let's see how that feels. All right. So once I get that set, I click on speed again, and I'm just going to re-record it again. And we're going to see how it goes. All right. As many as 68% of American households have at least one pet. That's significantly more than those who have children under 18. And with the younger generation putting off having children, household pets have filled that role for many Americans. And because your furry friends are a part of your family, you need to consider their needs when you're thinking about moving. Here are 4 important things to consider when thinking about your pets and moving. All right, so we're going to stop it there, right? So you get the idea. You're going to do a couple different versions of that. And even as I was recording that, I would probably have pushed it up to 210 words a minute because I was still getting just slightly ahead of the script. So let's go ahead and watch it. I'm not sure how well this is going to play back on your screen. But we're going to go ahead and give it a quick watch. As many as 68% of American households have at least one pet. That's significantly more than those who have children under 18. And with the younger generation putting off having children, household pets have filled that role for many Americans. And because your furry friends are... So you get the idea, right? So obviously, was that completely perfect? No. I mean, there is, the aspect of obviously there's a little bit of time there where you can't quite tell that I'm looking into the camera. Some of it looks like I'm looking at the camera. Some of it looks like I'm looking slightly below the camera. But here's the thing. Most people won't notice that much of a subtlety, right? Now let's go back because I want to point out one other thing on the recording here. Because again, you can do this yourself with your own script. When I have the script, look at where it is, right? It's at the top of the screen. And that's really important. It's really important that that particular area is where the script shows up because the camera is also at the top of the screen. If I had the script showing up on the entire screen or if it was playing right in the middle, it would look less like I'm looking into the camera, and that eye contact, or at least that, sort of sense of eye contact, since you're not quite looking into the camera, is really important, right? If you make a video where you're not looking at least close to the lens, it's going to look a little bit weird, right? So anyway, that's my take. I did my second take here. So here's the video. Again, I'm going to go ahead and play it for just a second. As many as 68% of American households have at least one pet. All right, that's good. So we're going to go ahead and close that out. So this is the next screen that I'm on, right? So far, again, just to recap, if you're going to be doing this yourself, what you would need to do is write your script ahead of time, upload it into Big View, and then record your takes, right? That's all you've really done so far. Most of our students at this point would tell us that this takes them about 10 to 30 minutes, depending on their level of experience. Now from here, the next thing we need to do is we need to finish out the video, right? Which means we need to add maybe some music. Maybe we want to add, since I did film it with green screen, again, you don't have to do that. In fact, if I put up this green screen, I have a nice backdrop right there behind me, which would obviously eliminate the step. So I'm showing you green screen mostly just because they have it down, and for the more advanced folks out there that want a little bit more of a challenge, right? So if you do not want to mess with green screen, if you want to make this simple, don't do any editing. In fact, you don't need to do anything from here, right? All I would need to do is just save this video. So what I can do is I can click on share. This is a part of Big View. I want you to keep in mind because it doesn't automatically it doesn't automatically save the video to your phone. All right, so I want to be able to do a little bit of editing to this. So what I have to do is click on share, and then I click on more, and I click the button at the bottom there. I'm going to leave it up on the screen for a second. You see where it says save video. So I'm going to click on save video, and then it's going to say exported to camera roll. So now what I've done is I've recorded it, and I've also made sure there's a copy of that video saved on my phone, right? Now, if I come back to my computer, which I showed you earlier, and I will come back to in a few minutes here, you'd also see that a version of this video is now on the Big View website. So if I want to go to the website and I want to have access to it, that's also really cool because that means I can edit it through my computer if I'd rather work there. Now, I have an app on my phone called Viva Video, all right? So we're going to go ahead and pull that up. So again, I'm going to type that out in the chat real quick for everybody, just so you know what the app is called. Viva Video, right? There is also a paid and free version of that one, right? So there's a lot of this sort of, and here's one thing I'll tell you, we get a lot of questions about how can I get free apps? How can I get free equipment, free software, all that kind of stuff. I totally get it. You should be as frugal as possible. You should be budgeting for video in your business at this point, right? So these kinds of apps, I mean, I think I might pay like $80 a year for this editing app, or something like Big View, also similar prices. You should be budgeting some significant money for video. This needs to be a regular part of how we run our businesses at this point. So if you're in that situation, just pay for it, all right? I can't encourage that enough because it will save you a ton of time. This app, I do most of my video editing in this app at this point. I don't even use a computer-based program much. So let me show you how this process works. And I'm not trying to make this too complicated. Here, keep this in mind. Everything I'm doing from this point forward is bonus. You don't need to do any of this on your video recipe, right? I can take that video I just shot. Obviously, I wouldn't have used the green screen, and I can just put it up on social media. It's done. It's saved in my phone. All I would do is go to Facebook, click on the post, upload the video. Guess what? Copy the text that I gave you earlier, and then you're good, right? Or if you wrote your own script, write out a description of the video and post it. But I figured, we got a few extra minutes here. I might as well show you what you could do to take this to the next level. So what we do is to come into...
Nick, while you're doing that, I'm going to actually do either today or tomorrow. I'm going to take your video, your script there that you recommend of the month, and I'm going to actually do it for our brokerage and come back, and I want you to grade me, give me an honest grade on a scale of 1 to 10 of how you think I did, okay? So,
I like it.
Cool.
Good stuff. All right, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that then.
Cool.
All right, awesome. Well, here's what this looks like. So we're on Viva Video at this point, and guess what? Here is my video right there, right? So I just click on it and I click next. Very simple. And then I'm just going to show you a couple things that you can do with Viva here, right? Now, again, this is a demo, so as I look at this, like, I'm not perfectly framed. I could have been framed slightly better. You can see the carpet below the green screen a little bit. Obviously, I would have readjusted my camera to avoid that. But again, we're just sort of doing a quick demo, and so for those purposes, this is just fine, right? So what we could do is we could come in here, and we can click on, for instance, maybe we want to do a background, right? So we can find one of these backgrounds. Actually, that's the wrong thing. I need to come to there it is, text and FX, right? So what I can do in here, let's see where this is. Maybe it's the wrong one. Clip edit. Just give me a second. There's a lot of features in here, so I'm just trying to, I think they moved something around on me. Shoot. Okay, well, I might have to come back to green screen because I'm having trouble locating it in here. But let's say, for instance, you want to add a picture, right? So we've got a video we're putting together, and we want to add, like, for instance, this one's about dogs, right? So this is really cool. In Viva, I can actually come in here, and I can just find stock videos and video clips, right? So, for instance, I can come in, and let's use this Eiffel one, actually. I can go to photo. I can search for, let's just say, pet. Search for it, and boom, we got a bunch of video clips, and we also have a bunch of photos, right? So for instance, maybe I want to add this picture of this dog here. So what's cool is I can come in here into this app, and I can add this photo in such a way that it appears for a certain amount of time, and then it disappears, right? Which is pretty typical to video. So I can come in here, I can expand it, I can rotate it. Obviously, what we'd want to do is probably have it fill the screen. So another thing I can do here, so let's go ahead and leave that for now because I want to come back to that in just a second. What I can actually do as well is I can come in here and, let's see, what was I trying to find? We'll come back to music in a second because that's a good one. Oh, here's what I want to do. Canvas. Sorry, I'm losing my track of thought for a second there. So another thing I can do is I can actually change the dimension of the video. So let me scroll over so you can see me. So I can click on Canvas here. I can switch it to a square, and then I can zoom, and I can kind of fix the framing a little bit, right? So look at that. Now I've actually got a video that's cropped a little bit better, right? So now I've got a square video I can work with. So now one of the reasons I did that is this dog image. Now I can make it fill the screen, right? In fact, now it's a little bit too big. I'm gonna shrink it down just a little bit. Let's make it a little bit bigger again. And again, we're not trying to do anything all that specific right now. I'm just kind of showing you a few of the things that are available. So now I've got this video. We can go ahead and play it.
As many as 68% of American households have at least one.
So that's one thing we can do. Here's the Chroma feature. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show you earlier, actually. So what we can do here. So the problem is I set this up backwards, so it's not going to work perfectly. But let me go ahead and delete that dog picture. And let's give me 2 seconds. I'm going to show you how to do the chroma key as well. Okay, it's done. And let me come to here. Let's throw that in there. And I apologize. Watching someone do video editing, especially on a phone, is usually not the most exciting content. But here you're getting the idea of how this stuff works. Okay, so now what I can do is I can click on this chroma here, and I can pick the green color. Let's move it over there. And then I can adjust the intensity here at the bottom. And look at that. If you go too far, obviously it'll get rid of yourself. But now I've done the green screen, right? So I can come in here, and I just have this black behind me, you know, So we'll just play this for just a second so you can see that. All right, so you see I removed the background there. So just showing you a couple of the things that you can do with this tool. Obviously, you don't have to, and I know I keep saying that, but I want to emphasize that because it's really important to understand. Everything you do in this app at this point is bonus, okay? All this editing you're doing is just extra, right? So you can do green screen, and the last thing I wanted to just show, just to mention, is that you can add music as well, right? So I can come in here, I can click on music, and then let's say we want some pop music, I can click on that, and then you can play these. Let me see if the sound, I think the sound is turned down. I'm not sure if it's playing that music on your end or not. Okay, we'll come back, but then you can add those music tracks as well, right? So that's it, right? You just come in here, you do your editing. The only things that I would recommend that you do to something like a video recipe would be to add music and maybe some graphics, right? Like maybe a graphic that comes up, and actually that's one part I didn't show you, so let me kind of come back to that. So let's see, text and FX. Text is another thing you can do, right? So we're gonna just say moving with pets. Again, this is not, I'm not doing this in a way that's perfect. You've got different styles. You can come in here and try
the younger generation putting off
right? And so you can add text, you can drag it around the screen, etc. Right? So that's another thing to do. So that's really it, right? The only stuff that I would recommend you do when you're editing this stuff is come in, add music, maybe add some text, and then maybe consider, you know, if you want to mess with green screen and replace your background, you've got that option. If you want to mess with you know, adding some other images, like one thing. So let me stop the share of the phone and come back to the computer here real quick. Because another thing that we include in the download section, let me see, make sure I'm the right thing. Yep. So in the download section right here, we also often will, if we can, if it's available, we'll include graphics and we'll include pictures and images and all that kind of stuff, right? So for instance, you can see, you know, we've included like this picture of a cat. I'm not sure if that's probably not showing on your screen. Let me share it real quick. It's not that important to see, but just, you know what I'm talking about. So for instance, like we'll have these kinds of images included in there that you can grab and you can use in your video, right? All right, so that's the cat. Let me come back to Chrome. Okay, so that's everything, right? So that's all you have available here. So the basic gist of this is, let's just recap it one time, and then I want to answer any questions that you do have. Now, obviously, if you do this yourself, I'll give you that version as well. But what you do in Business Video School is you come in, you say, I want to make a video today. You come into the library here, right? So we come into the video recipes library, and you either just search through it, you know, just kind of scroll through it. I'll show you what that would look like again. And you just find a topic you like and you go from there, or you can actually search for them, right? So let's come back to video recipes, and they're all categorized, right? So maybe you want to come in here and you say, okay, I want to do something that's about a real estate FAQ, frequently asked question, because when you're first getting started making videos, that's actually a pretty good thing to do. It's content you're familiar with, you're gonna know what you're doing. So I might come in here and say, you know, let's do one about the pros and cons of joining a homeowners association, right? So I come in here, you click on the video, you watch it, you decide if you want to make it or not. If you do, you click on this document right here, it downloads to your computer, you open it up and copy the script. You come over to Big View, you click on Create, you click Script, you copy it in, you add a headline, then you send it to the app. And then what we do is we'd switch over to the Big View on our phone again one last time as sort of a quick summary here. And I apologize, I'm using an iPhone, which I'm not entirely used to doing. So I don't always get the hand gestures correct. There we go. All right, then we come over to Big View. Let me show that one last time. Within Big View here, we are going to now look for the script that we just uploaded, right? In this case, it's the Moving with Pets. We click on it. We click on the record icon. We record our version, right? We adjust our settings, which you can do at the bottom. And then once you have your version recorded, we find this is what you'll see at the end of recording it. You click on Share, More, and then Save Video, right? That's it. Now it's saved to your phone, and that's it. Like, that's all you have to do. Everything else in terms of going in and editing, that would be your choice, right? Now, if you wanted to do that process yourself without Business Video School's help, the only difference is you have to write your script. You're not gonna have a version of the video to imitate, but maybe you can find somebody else's video and semi-imitate it. Don't rip it off directly unless they've given you permission. And then when you're done, you're gonna just make sure you post it and then write out your post for social media, right? So that's the process. So that's kind of the main gist of what I have to show you today. I'm going to go ahead and answer any questions that you all now have. But the last thing I wanted to show before I do that is let me come back to my slides because I want to give everybody one last chance to get registered for our free mini course. Let me put that onto the screen one last time. So if you weren't here the past 2 days, we've talked about this, both of those. This is, in a sense, it's sort of like a free trial of Business Video School, right? So if you're not a customer and you're not necessarily sure if you want to sign up yet for Business Video School, this is a great way to see what we're all about. It's a 14-day mini course. So the idea here is once you get signed up today, over the next 14 days, you're going to receive a series of emails with a short video lesson, something anywhere from about 1.5 minutes up to maybe 6 minutes or so. They're all very compact, very to the point, and you're going to learn the stuff you see on the screen, right? So things like how to make eye contact in your videos, how to be authentic on camera, how to send video through email, how to make a listicle video, how to go live and feel confident when you're doing it. All of that's going to come to you. And the big thing here is that this is a chance to learn video, right? Learn some stuff about how to make video, but also a chance to get to know us, our instruction style, and see if we're the right fit for you, right? If you do decide we're the right fit for you, a membership is just $97 a month, and you can sign up at any time on our website. As soon as you sign up, you have access to that entire video recipe library, right? I didn't even go into all the other stuff that we do, especially the challenges that we have coming up, but there's a lot of really awesome challenges coming down the road in the next couple months. So get yourself signed up one way or the other because you have a lot of really great stuff you'll have access to. Now, this is how you get signed up for the free mini course. You just go to your text app, right? So pull up your text app like you would send a text in any other situation. The phone number you send the text message to is just 44222. So it's called a short code. It's not an entire phone number. What I would do is do this right now because this is going to be on the screen for about the next 1 minute or less, at which point then you won't know how to do this anymore, right? So go to your text app, 44222, and then the text you send is just the word mini course, MINICOURSE. That's it. No quotes. Don't include your name, don't include your email or anything in that first initial text. If you say anything other than the mini course, it will not understand you. It's not the smartest system, right? It's just gonna accept that one text. So you send the word mini course to 44222. You're gonna get a response that says, what is your email address? And then you just reply with your email address and you're done. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, please proofread your email address, all right? I have had several people in the past few weeks say that they're never getting the emails, and when I look into it, it's just because they mistyped their email address. Our system doesn't know how you spell your name or anything like that, right? So just make sure you type it out very carefully. But that's the whole process. So I'm gonna take this off the screen here in about 20 seconds and start answering questions. But please go ahead and do this right now because you're not going to necessarily have this information again later. And it's the best thing to just go ahead and take the action right off the bat. All right, so I'm going to start looking in the comments. If you have a question, anything you'd like to know about the process we just went through, or anything you'd like to know about video production in general, I'd be happy to answer those for you now. So let me see. So where do you add captions? So we didn't really go over where to add captions, but that actually is something that you can do in Viva. So let me just, or sorry, not Viva, but Big View. So let me go ahead and share that. Switch back over to it. All right, there we go. So once you're done recording your video and you're into the editing stage, right, which is what this screen represents, right in the middle there it says crop, captions, logo, and green replace, right? If you click on that, you can click on what says style with captions. I'm going to show you what happens here. We're going to select English. You can obviously select whatever language it is you want the captions to be in if it's anything other than English. And then you're going to get this version, right? So we can select how we want to crop it. If we want to do anything there, And then we can also select a theme and a logo, and there's a bunch of different things that you can do here. I'm just going to kind of skip through those. And then it's going to generate the video with captions. Now, this version is creating a version of the video using the script that you input. It's not necessarily scanning your words. It's just using the words you put into the script, right? Which is usually fine. But if you said something differently than how you said it in your script, you may want to come in here and you can click on the individual captions and you can make edits to them in there, right? So that's how you can do that. So that's how you add captions through Big View. I'm a bigger fan of adding captions on the platform when I upload the video. So for instance, putting it on your Facebook business page, you can also add captions at that point. But whatever way you want to do it, those are a couple different options. Is the green screen always green in color, or can I get my color of choice? So here's the thing about green screen. A lot of people don't know this, but it does not need to be green at all. The only thing that needs to matter, or the only thing that matters there, is that the color that's behind you cannot show up anywhere else, right? So what happens in the software, it's actually called a key tool. So what the software does is you tell it, you saw me like highlight the green on the screen, and then I adjusted the intensity meter, right? What I was doing is I was saying everything that looks like this green gets removed. So that's the key, right? That's the central color that looks, anything that looks close to that gets removed. So if I have any green in my clothes or my hair or my skin, guess what? Most humans don't have any green on them, right? We tend not to wear a lot of green clothing. And so if that's the case, then we're good. That's why they use bright green, right? Because we tend not to wear bright green. Now, you can use any color, right? You'll see, like, if you watch, behind the scenes of, like, Avengers movies, you'll see that everything's blue. In that case, they use blue, and they key out the blue instead of green, right? So it's just a matter of what is the easiest to work with. Blue's not as reflective, so I think that's part of why they do that in movies. Now, beyond that, it can be anything else, but the big challenge is just that you can't have that color appear in anything you're wearing or on your person at all, right? So that's the thing to keep in mind. So green tends to be best, but if you do want to do any other color, you can. It's just a matter of it showing up. And keep in mind, the color that you're removing is removed, right? So it's not like, oh, I want to use a color I like. That part doesn't matter because it's going to get removed from the video anyway, right? All right, can the file be too big to send? Yeah, for sure. The files can be, there's a huge range of what file sizes are too big, right? You want to send a video through email, for instance, the file size limit in most emails is 25 megabytes. That's very small, right? So that usually means you have to use a third-party tool like Ren or BombBomb or something like that to send it, right? You want to upload the video to Facebook? Well, the file size limit is a few gigabytes in that case, right? So that's much, much larger. We're not going to really have an issue there. So that's a fairly complex question, but if you ever do run into an issue where the video that you recorded is too big and you're having trouble getting it to someone, just look into those options, right? Something that's going to allow you third-party email video tools or those sorts of things. And then one you can use to simply transfer a video is WeTransfer.com. So if you just go to WeTransfer.com, there is a free service where you can transfer a video. So if you're ever trying to like share a video with somebody and it's too big to attach to an email, that's the way to do it. It's relatively simple and it is free. All right, so the other two questions I think might be for you, Isaiah. So if we currently use BombBomb, does your membership replace that? So not Business Video School, but Ren does have something that you can use in place of BombBomb. I'll let Isaiah talk more about that. And then how much is the program after the 14-day trial? So that one, I guess that is, so the 14-day mini course. Yeah, so after that, Business Video School memberships are $97 a month for an individual membership. Or if you register with Ren, you will get a membership for free through their platform, right? So it's one of those other, so either way, right? So you get us one way or the other. And if you need any other information on that, just go to bizvideoschool.com. I'm going to type that out and put it in the, actually, I think we have a link through Club Wealth. So if we might be able to pull that up from yesterday, I want to make sure we're sharing the right links here. Actually, it's up here in the chat a little bit earlier. I'm just going to copy it down again. But yeah, get over there and check us out. We'd be happy to have you. We do have some upcoming challenges that are going to be a lot of fun. We're doing a challenge starting here in just a few weeks that is going to be all about creating a video to promote your favorite nonprofit and help them raise some money. So that would be a great place to get started. So I'd really recommend getting your membership here in the next couple, I'd do it right now so you don't forget. And then that way you can take the early trainings, get the basic skills under your belt, and be ready to participate in that upcoming challenge. That would be my recommendation for you. That's all I got. I don't see any other questions in the comments, so I'll keep an eye on it for the next couple minutes, and then I got a dart. But I appreciate you having me here today. I hope everybody's able to follow along with that demo. Thanks so much.
So Nick, that was really good. What are your big takeaways? What's your action steps off of what Nick trained here? If you could just drop it in the chat. What's your one thing you're going to commit to do from today's training? So, and also, a lot of people are saying thanks, Nick. So that's cool. Make videos, Caroline says. Yes, make more videos. That's right. And we're hoping that these demonstrations, and this is what it did for me, the more that I hung around with video marketers, I realized, man, I'm overthinking this thing.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there's things you do to make it better as you go, but I'm like, man, I'm overthinking this thing. So if there's one thing that I'm hoping that you're taking away from this whole thing is that all the fears, questions, and concerns that goes through our mind as we're doing these videos, we just got to work through it and not overthink it and just do it, right? Work through the technical challenges, work through the things, because once you get good at it, just like anything else, it doesn't take as much time as you think, and it actually can be kind of fun. So Nick, maybe we could just end off. One of my questions is how do people overcome, what are the top challenges and fears that people have when it comes to videos, if we haven't addressed them all clearly already, and if not, we'll just recap it. And then how do we overcome those things so we just take action?
So, there's a million different kinds of fears and challenges, and I think they almost always sort of sum back to you're trying to do too much too fast. And I think that is actually a problem. I'm just sort of side note real quick, but it's I've been in the past year or two, I've been thinking a lot about this hustle culture thing, right? This idea that we're supposed to be moving, as aggressively as we can at all times and doing as much as we can, because it's really bothering me what it's resulted in when it comes to learning new skills. So we have all these people now that think that because they're supposed to be moving so fast and so aggressively at all times, that they're supposed to learn that way. And that's just not true. Humans do not learn very well when you just throw a bunch of stuff at us really, really fast, and it just gets overwhelming and most people shut down. So most of the mistakes people are making when it comes to video right now is you're thinking of it in too short term of a sense. This is a complete shift in how we talk to each other, right? That's what this is. The way we talk to each other is gradually shifting.
Right. And
you just need to be shifting with it. That's all you need to be doing. You don't need to be a total pro at this stuff in 6 weeks. And that's what happens is that so many times we put the pressure on ourselves. We say, I need to be doing what they're doing in just a few weeks or just a few months, instead of saying, what's the smallest, simplest step I can take today that will eventually get me there, right? I've been making videos for 5 years. I've made probably over 1,000 videos, and that doesn't even include video messages, probably several thousand if I include those. Yep. And I'm still learning, and I still sometimes feel intimidated, especially if I'm doing a new style of video that I haven't done before, and I'm still learning, right? So that's the big thing, is that it's more important to start and make some small amount of steady progress than it is to try to do everything super fast. And I've seen, I know a ton of people that 3 years ago went out and bought a bunch of video equipment, set it up in their basement, and haven't made a video still, right? Because they made it into this massive mountain that they had to climb, and they got scared of it. Yeah. And instead, they should start super simple. So to sum it all up, what I'll say is, if you're having trouble, even if you've done a couple of videos and you're having trouble doing the next one, consider that you're probably trying to do too much. Take a step back and do a simpler video. Send a video message.
Can I give an analogy?
Yeah, of course.
So my son is in Taekwondo, right? And I think what you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, is that just like any skill, and this is kind of like when I'm learning something, I try to put myself in my son's shoes in Taekwondo, is if I go out and I try to go compete with a black belt and I just started Taekwondo, I'm going to get smashed. Right. And so it's kind of the same thing when we're learning new things, is we can't go do what a black belt does day one, because we get crushed mentally. Right. So like, that's kind of what I'm hearing you say. Is that, would you agree with that? Like
100%. No.
Walk yourself through a process. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, that's a perfect. I love that analogy. I took Taekwondo as a kid for a while.
So you get it. So.
And I did not get to the black belt level at any point. So I understand that.
You're there with video, so that's.
Well, I'm like a orange belt or something.
Oh yeah, there you go.
No, I don't know where all the belt levels are, but somewhere.
Right. There you go. Cool. Awesome. Any other questions here before we wrap up the day?
May I say something?
Yes, please.
Hi, Laurie Melanson here. I just want to say, first of all, thank you, Nick, for that reminder that, just take it like a little bit at a time. I am a member of Business Video School, and that is precisely how they have the courses set up, to just take it in little bite-sized pieces. And I have done some videos, and I was one of those people that I said I would never do that. So I think they're fantastic. The way they have the school set up, the way they have the website set up, and the challenges are a fun way to have accountability, to get you to just, do it, right? So it's tons of fun, and I think Nick and Vanessa are awesome.
That's great. That's really good.
Thank you.
I love it. Great.
Yeah, we love having you in the school, Lori. It's good to see you. You're one of the people I definitely recognize because, again, I've seen your videos in the school, right? So that's how we get to know each other. Love it.
Great. So let's come up with some action steps on the types of videos that we can start doing that are maybe baby step where we should start, and then what kind of videos we can move to. If you didn't already do that, Nick.
Well, yeah, and I have to run. I got to run a session here at 1 o'clock my time.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna run. I'll take over from here then. So
cool. All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'll talk to everybody soon.
Sounds good. So tomorrow, when you come back tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll do kind of that recap to say, okay, there's a lot of different types of videos that you could be doing. So what types of videos, where should I start? Okay. This most simplest place to start until Nick's back tomorrow, I think, is video text message, because it doesn't. It's a very informal video. You're having a conversation. Okay, so video text message. Then I think the next place you could start would be moving to doing a quick 2-minute educational video that Nick kind of went over on a topic, and start doing some of those. And then once you start feeling comfortable from there, you can start thinking about going live on Facebook and doing live videos, because that's going to really help you keep in touch with your brand from there. And then somewhere in between, there's the apps, and using apps to help enhance your videos and the imagery of the video. So whether you're using TikTok or Big View or some of these other apps that were represented, you can kind of get better along the way. What I found is I used to worry if my hair was perfect, if I was dressed perfect, if my script was perfect, and I would overanalyze it. And when I just started doing them and realized, like Jeff talked about, that a video is better than no video, I started having more success. If you're part of the run, or if you're part of the run community with us, remember you can access the community just like Lori was talking about and Nick have been talking about. You can access that Business Video School right on your dashboard here, just as a reminder. You can just click in and access it there. Okay, so with that, let's talk about what our action steps need to be. All right. I would like everybody to hear that's willing to commit to doing a video today, not tomorrow. Do a video today. Okay. I don't care if you have to do a follow-up text video to a client. I don't care if you just want to do a 2-minute video that's recorded, okay? And then you want to just kind of maybe start playing around with editing. I don't even care if you do the editing, right? Or I don't care if you decide to go live on Facebook, but just do something with video. But by a show of chat, who's willing to do something with video today? Not tomorrow, not the next day, but do something with video today where you're going to just do it and stop thinking about it. You're just going to do it. Awesome. We got a ton of people. So if that's the case, then what I would like to also do by chat is get 5 volunteers where tomorrow we can either tomorrow or Friday, depending on how the schedule goes, we can actually, you're willing to show your video and we can go through the videos together. And I'm going to do one too, by the way. I'm going to take Nick's recipe from Business Video School, and that's going to be my commitment to you guys, is I'm going to do a 2 to 3 minute educational video using his recipe, and I'm going to send it out through our Ren Marketing Hub, and I'm actually going to send that video to my database right in front of you guys, okay? So that's going to be my commitment to you. So if I can get 5 people, and Sam, if you can look at the chat and get the names of those people to have those videos kind of ready to go, that would be great. Awesome. A couple things as a recap, if you maybe weren't able to join us yesterday, a couple important things. We have some really unique opportunities. If you want to know how to get a state-of-the-art studio set up and you want to be walked through it step by step, Nick has offered, he normally charges like $27. He's offered to give it for $8 for this group that walks you through a step-by-step roadmap on how to set up your own advanced studio. So Sam's going to drop the link in right now to show you how to do that. If you want to get a head start on having some pre-made social posts done for you for July and August, and have a blog done for you, and also have some social stories created for you. We call it our digital marketing toolkit. We've made that available to you for $18 to be able to kind of get you jump started with some of your marketing materials. And there's a whole topic packet in there. Okay. And if you really want to take your social media to the next level, all right. And has anybody ever heard of, by show of chat, has anybody ever heard of the concept of a content multiplying formula, where you shoot a video and then you turn it into other forms of content? Has anybody ever heard that of that before, that strategy, that process? Okay, by show of chat. Please say yes or no in the chat. Yeah, repurposing, okay? So we have a 10-step process. When I shoot a video, we have a process that turns that into Facebook, Instagram clips, turns it into a YouTube video, turns it into a blog, turns it into a quote card, and short story Facebook posts. How many people would be interested in learning how to do that? By show of chat, how many people would be interested in learning how to do that for your business? That step-by-step process. Okay. So if that's the case, then what I want to do, because I want to provide as much value in our workshop as possible. Okay. If you decide to join the Google LSA workshop, okay, and learn how to do Google LSA, what I will also do is, with you and my marketing team, we'll walk you through all 10 steps that we go through to shoot a video and repurpose the content, and share with you all the tools in the team that you need to help you do that at that workshop at no additional cost. So we'll make a time slot out to do that at that workshop, included with the Google LSA. So that's $297 to join that workshop if you guys want to learn how to do that, okay? It is in-depth process. I want to be upfront with you on that. but it's extremely powerful because who could get excited about essentially taking a 2-minute video that took you 15 minutes to shoot and then having content on for every type of platform to be able to be generated on all of your platforms from that, right? That's pretty cool, right? So that's what we're going to teach you how to do at that workshop. So Sam, if you could drop the link to sign up to that masterclass in the workshop, we're going to teach you how to do that. Also too, if you want your content done for you for the entire year, I'm going to give you a 12-month content toolkit where if you sign up, you're going to get access to our 12-month toolkit for the entire year included with that workshop for the $297. It's over $1,100 value, just that marketing toolkit alone, where my marketing team creates the content for you for the entire freaking year. Okay. So that way you'll be able to take the marketing plan that we recommend. If you want, you can literally just follow right along with this calendar to make your life even easier. Because I know as realtors, life gets crazy. You could literally just follow this calendar, take the content, and have your marketing person or you use it, post it, do whatever you want with it, send it out to your database, do a newsletter with it. Oh, by the way, there's a pre-done newsletter as well. There's like any type of content's included with there. Yeah, so that's what we got for today. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's videos. Did I forget something?
I had someone ask if they purchased last month, do they have to purchase again this month to join the workshop?
I'll tell you what, because we're adding more value there, they can pay half to get access to the other. So that way they're not feeling like they're double paying. So tell them just pay the whole thing and we'll credit them, make a note and we'll credit them back. Okay. Because I want to be fair to the people that are paying this time. Also, this is a special offer for this group. So if they're willing to pay half, then we'll give them access to all of the content multiplier and everything. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Sweet. Good question, everybody. Good. Any other questions from the group before we wrap it up here? When is the workshop? What's the next question? So that is next Wednesday, the 26th at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Everything's going to be recorded too. So you'll be able to take everything we're doing in that workshop and take it with you. That's all included with it. So with that, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's videos. I consider this an honor and privilege to be networking with you guys and training and working with you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. See ya.